Just as a heads up, there is a daily login bonus now. Just go to the in-game store, go to the events tab, and then click claim. It's every 24 hours, you get some free stuff that way. And while you're in the store, if you want to, you can use credit code OhDough when you buy stuff. Helps me out a ton, and it's a good way to support what I do here on YouTube. So thank you guys very much, and enjoy the video. How's it going, everyone? My name's Doe. Hope you're all doing pretty good. In this video, I'll be describing 4 in-game Aether Striker builds, which I won't be putting too much emphasis on all the builds because that'd be a long video. Instead, I'll be describing 2 of the builds that are different in detail and showing variations for those builds to make it quicker. And as a bit of a heads up, not all these builds have Predator, not all these builds have Discipline. They're different builds. They have different cells, so different playstyles can be used. The main thing here is that you're just at the point in the game where you can get some Shroud gear, some Reza gear. That's the main thing here. Anyway, the first build I want to discuss is one using the Riftstalker weapons, and this is my general build to use in most cases. This is a build I use when I'm playing in groups, or when I'm fighting in a trial and this weapon is good in that trial, because it'll last longer. And the loadout for this build goes like this: Riftstalker Strikers with the Titan's Crash Special and Cyclonic Strike Plate mod. So Cyclonic Strike Plate is, in my opinion, the goodest mod. That's because this mod, it's always there. It's always up. You get increased duration for Tempest Form. Tempest Form is attack speed. And you also get 15% extra damage when Tempest Form has 10 seconds left. That's nothing too crazy, but it's a damage increase, and it's consistent. Now for the armor, I've got Hellion Helmet, Shroud Chest Piece, Nasher Gloves, and Charog Feet, with the Drask Lantern. And then the perks, when using all this stuff, gives me +6 Etheric Attunement, Berserker, Overpower, Rage, Rage Hunter, a +3 Discipline, and +3 Wild Frenzy. Now, to explain some of the perks, you can choose Predator if you don't want Berserker. I'm going with Berserker because, for some reason, I just cannot dodge after the patch. I'm just bad, I'm trash, I'm washed up. I don't know how to dodge, and I'm getting hit when I think I shouldn't be getting hit. So, to help just not worry about that too much, I've got Berserker. So if I get hit, it's fine. We can still go ham, because there's no penalty for getting hit, really, aside from losing health. When using Predator, if you get hit, you lose damage. That it can feel bad. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then for the Discipline, I want to be low life to help out Rage and Wild Frenzy. So that's the whole reason. And you could go +6 Discipline, but I just don't really see a point unless you're going for a full crit build, which I am not doing that right now. So that's the reason behind that. And the last thing is, I have +3 Wild Frenzy instead of +6, because I could easily swap out a Berserker cell for Wild Frenzy +6 if I wanted to. But I have +3 Wild Frenzy because too much attack speed on the Strikers, for me, feels ridiculous. It's just not very fun. I can't control what I'm doing. I want to feel like I'm in control of my character, and having too much attack speed on the Strikers, which in my opinion can happen very easily, just doesn't feel that good, you know? So I'm trying to have little attack speed as possible. If I could, I feel like I would try and not have Wild Frenzy, but that's, never mind, I lied. I like having at least, you know, what is it, 10% to 25% from just cells, and that's it. But in a party, your teammates can give you attack speed from Conduit, from the Repeater's Captain's Grip, so I'm trying to avoid that, which is why I have this for the general build. That's my reasoning behind that. Now, for the variant of this build, all you want to do if you want to change it is change out the helmet from Hellion to Drask and the gloves from Nasher to Reza. And this will change from +6 Rage Hunter, almost said Rage, +6 Rage Hunter to +6 Conduit. And in a perfect world, that +6 Conduit would be +6 Predator or something else, because that attack speed, like I said, can make the gauntlets or the Strikers a little hard to control. So I don't really 100% love this, but it's more viable in some hunts if you're doing really fast kill times, because sometimes you kill something so fast it doesn't get to enrage. And if that happens, Rage Hunter is pretty much useless. So that's why this build is better in that sense, because you're not using Rage Hunter, which could be a dead cell, if the behemoth never enrages. That's the reason behind this build. So this build is a lot harder to control, but it does a lot of damage, and it's pretty fun to play for a little bit. So those are my 2 Umbral builds, and those are good against everything from Heroic Plus down that isn't Umbral. I would suggest not using them on Umbral Behemoths, because you're doing less damage that way. And also, if you're playing Trials, I would also suggest only using these if the Trial Behemoth is a Radiant one, because of how the scaling works and how the power works. But moving on to the other builds, I will have Reza weapons, which are radiant. So let's go and do that. For the first build, I'll have the Reza weapons, like I said, and the special is going to be Titan's Crash again. And by the way, for the special, if you want to, you can change it to Adamant Bolt. It's up to you. Just understand that Titan's Crash is a better special for a couple reasons. The first being it does stagger damage, whereas the other special does no stagger damage. And it's just much faster to cast. That's like another big thing, because the Adamant Bolt special is super cool, super anime, that's fantastic, but it takes a little bit to cast. Not too long, but it's just longer to cast than Titan's Crash, and that's downtime that you don't really want to have. So if you're going for the most optimal build to kill things really fast, use Titan's Crash. If you want to feel like an anime superstar, use the Adamant Bolt. It's preference. I like Adamant Bolt a lot, so I like using that too. I'm just explaining the differences. And then for the mod, I'm using Echo Brace Driver. Now this is being used because I want some variety, and it's cool seeing the dot damage go through. Like, I still think that Shrike Plate's a better option, but this build has Cunning, so you get 10% crit chance, and your crits do more damage. Echo Brace Driver is where critical strikes can increase the damage dealt by Karma Breaker's damage over time by 5% until the debuff ends or is refreshed. And I kept saying this has like a max limit of 50%. It might have that in game, because I'm reading off dauntless.com, so this might be different. But if it doesn't have a cap, this is actually kind of wild, so that's interesting to me. Anyway, for the gear of this build, we will have the Reza helmet, the Drask chest piece, Nasher gloves, Koshai feet, and the Drask lantern, which I'm using Drask lantern on my builds. The lantern choice is up to you. You can pick whatever lantern you want to. I normally go with either Drask or Immermain. I might try and use some Koshai lantern with the Strikers. I kind of wish that Koshai lantern had different, it had a different instant cast, TBH. But lifesteal's good too from that lantern. Anyway, for the perks in this build, I will have +6 Etheric Attunement, Conduit, Cunning, Overpower, Predator, and Rage Hunter. So this is again a general build if you want to play a Radiant weapon. You can use it against, I wouldn't, and honestly, by the way, do not use this against a Umbral Behemoth, because Rage Hunter is not good on Umbral Behemoths. It's just a heads up. But it's, you know, it's useful on everything that's not Umbral or Radiant in that kind of sense. And it's a fun build. It's just more variety. And the variation of this build is one you can actually use against Umbral Behemoths to do some pretty good freaking damage. And for that build, it's going to have the same weapon, the same special, and the same modifier, but you're going to change the Reza helmet to the Echo helmet, which for the helmet you can use whatever helmet has a power slot. Doesn't matter. I chose Echoes because it looks cool, I like it, and I was bored. And the chest piece stays the same. The gloves change from Nasher to Reza, and the feet change from Koshai to Valimir. Lantern stays the same, but pick whatever you want to use, like I said earlier. And then for the perks, alright, scroll up here. For the perks, you're going to have +6 Aether Hunter, and Etheric Attunement, Conduit, Cunning, and Overpower with +3 Berserker. So this build is, you know, it's my Umbral Behemoth Buster build, if you will, and it's pretty cool. Like it a lot, does good damage, and the reason it's good against Umbral Behemoths is because, for one, it's a Radiant weapon, and the next big factor is it uses Aether Hunter. Radiant Behemoths, or not Radiant, Umbral Behemoths do not really have very good enrage modes. Instead, they have very good Aether modes. They're in Aether mode for the majority of the fight, and Aether Hunter does 10% more damage than Rage Hunter, and it's just more useful on Umbral Behemoths. So this is a phenomenally good cell to use on Umbral Behemoths, and that's why I put it in this build. And I'll leave you guys one more build that I can't think of right now. I want to make y'all a full crit build, because apparently, for some reason, I swore Echo Brace Driver had a 50% damage overall increase cap to the modifier. I guess I made that up completely. Don't know why I thought that, but if that's not the case, then that could be a really fun build to mess around with, because dot damage is really cool. I don't know why I like it so much, but it fascinates me. It resonates with me, if you will. That's a cool thing. But that's pretty much the builds, guys. Hopefully they help you out in some way, in some fashion, and I'm really hoping you guys enjoy playing Strikers, because these weapons, which they seem kind of broken, but that's okay. But anyway, they're really fun. These weapons are super fun. I've only heard good things about these weapons, and that's crazy. I'm super happy that Dauntless launched the way it did, and people are enjoying the game, and I'm glad that people are getting into it. But with that being said, that is the end of this video, guys. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, leaving a like, sharing it, commenting down below, all those things help me out a ton. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more Dauntless content. I can't say that very well, but that's what I do here. I make Dauntless videos pretty often, and people seem to like them. And if you want to support this channel and what I do, you can use my Epic Games Pro Card code if you want to. If you buy things, using my code supports me, costs you nothing extra besides typing a code. Very, you know, it's something that, like, if you want to do that, it's very helpful. And also, if you want my in-game flare, if you sub to me on Twitch, it's a very easy way to get it. Just sub to me on Twitch and then use the in-game or the chat command !flare, join the Discord, and then Bob your auntie, you get a flare that way. But that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.